Hey, it's John at Tinderbox Arts. This is a review of the Bilt brand Tempest 2 waterproof ladies jacket. Now, the Bilt brand is the house brand for Cycle Gear and I guess Revzilla now in it too, because I think Revzilla owns Cycle Gear at this point. This is said to be waterproof. I think you have to take that with a grain of salt, really, but this is meant to be sort of a touring style jacket. Now, I should mention up front, Bilt, being a house brand, is designed to get people in the door. It's entry-level gear, so we're not going to expect exceptional performance from this, but we do want adequate performance. And with that said, I do think this house brand has become better in the last, I'll say, 2 years. Most of it used to be made in Pakistan. Now a lot of it seems to be made in China, and actually that seems to be an improvement. Now, a touring style jacket is meant to give you some flexibility, and there is some flexibility here, but maybe not as much as you would get on a higher end jacket. As far as venting, which is very important, you do have a little bit of a vent in the sleeve here on both sides. And if I turn this around on the back, there is not vents vertically here on the side, which I would want to see, but there is a vent here at the back. It's sort of hidden here, but it's a zippered vent. It's fairly, what is that, maybe about 6 or 8 inches wide, and that gives you some airflow, or at least allows hot air to escape. So there is some venting here, but not as much as you would find on a more premium jacket. Now, adjustability is another important thing on a touring style jacket. There is some adjustability here, but maybe not as much as you would get on a more premium jacket. There's a snap right here, so you can kind of adjust the sleeve a little bit. On the sides here, there's Velcro, which goes to the back, so you can tighten up the sides, cinch it up for a tighter waist. If you look here, up here on the shoulders, there is some bellow material here stitched in, which is good. That allows you some stretch when you're leaning forward. And there's also some bellow material here on the elbow area. I want to give you a close-up here of the stitching, which we were just talking about. And if you look here, it's pretty well done. So there's reinforcement right here. If I come down, this right here is where that snap is. You can see there's 3 reinforcing stitches here. So there is some attention paid to quality in that sense, and I think that's good. The cuffs of the sleeve have Velcro, so you can tighten them up. However, I wish there was a little bit more Velcro on this area especially. That's not really very much there. It does the job, but I wish it were a little bit longer. There is a zipper on the inside here. It is a YKK zipper, and there's also Velcro to get this flap secured. And you see this is doubled over here. That's to help with water penetration. While we're talking about the exterior of the jacket, there is reflective material here and a little bit more here on the sleeve and up here by the collar as well. So, all right, if I open up the jacket and lay it on the ground here, we can see the inside. So there is a lining, and it is important to note that the lining doesn't stop right here. It's not just a vest. The lining goes down the sleeves. Sometimes the cheaper jackets, they just give you like a vest, and that doesn't do much. So that's excellent, and they went the extra mile there. If I look down here, you can see there's more of those bellows that we were talking about earlier, and that just allows some expansion and contraction as you're moving around, which is good. So this jacket is made in China, and again, I think the quality of the stuff they're sourcing from China seems to be better than the stuff they were previously sourcing from Pakistan. Now you notice there's no interior pocket in the liner. On a higher end jacket, you might find that. Here you do not. To remove the liner, there's a zipper which goes around the whole jacket, which is very typical of a motorcycle jacket. And if I get into the cuff here, you see there's a red and a blue loop. That's what you unsnap, or actually, is that snap or button? That's a snap, I'm sorry, it's a snap. So there's a snap on the blue side and the red side there. You undo those in order to get the sleeve of the liner out of the cuff where it's attached. So with the liner removed, you can see what I mean. The sleeves are full length, which is excellent. If we move back to the jacket here, I do want to point out that there is a pocket right here, and there is access. So even with the liner installed, you can get access to this pocket. It's not covered, but there's not a pocket in the liner itself. Now this pocket has a zipper, and it is lined. It's not super easy to get to. So if you're on the bike with gloves and you need to reach for, I don't know, a phone or a wallet or something like that, it might be a little tricky to get to. So while we're on this subject of pockets, you can see some more of that material under this mesh right here, and that's to the pocket from the outside. The pocket on the outside does have a zipper. They do offer this connection, this zippered connection to your pants if you want to do that. It's not very wide. That might be a reflection of the fact that this is a ladies' jacket rather than a men's. I'm not actually sure about that. I don't know too many people that actually use that. And if you wanted to, it would be simple just to cut that out so it's not flopping around in there. Now for protection, they do give you this pocket for a back protector, but what they stick in there is just a piece of foam. It's not going to do anything. So if you want back protection, you're going to need to buy it, but there is a pocket there for it. Now the armor, which is included in the shoulders and the elbows, does claim to be CE rated, and there's a CE stamp right there. You know, it's okay. It's not super high-end armor by any stretch of the imagination, but it gets the job done. You could purchase higher-end CE rated armor if you wanted to, but this is okay. It's entry-level stuff. The collar has a softer material which rubs against your neck, so that's nice. And of course it does have this additional fabric up here for closure, so if you have, you know, rain or cold weather, you can flop that over and protect your neck from any wind or water coming in. Now what about waterproofing? Well, you know, it's kind of a mixed bag. This 600D material here on the outside, you can spray that. There's a whole bunch of commercial sprays you can buy. Often it's sold for camping gear and that kind of thing. And that will help keep it from getting saturated more quickly. So it'll buy you a few more minutes of time. Now, if you're in a downpour, it's definitely going to get saturated at some point. On the inside, under that mesh, I'm not sure, you can see a little reflection there, right? So under that mesh is a material that's not going to allow water to come through. However, you're still going to have the exterior of this jacket, this 600D material, saturated with water. So it's not going to be terribly comfortable. So to my way of thinking, you're still going to need rain gear. This might buy you a little bit of time. So if you're just going through a very quick, you know, a light sprinkle or something like that, you can run through it and not get too wet. But if you're going to be riding in rain for a period of time, you're definitely going to want rain gear. Now, sizing of motorcycle gear is always a problem for everybody, I think. This particular jacket that you're looking at in front of you is a size large. And I would say if you're 5'5" to 5'7", and maybe, I don't know, 130 pounds to 150 pounds, something like that, that's probably the size you want. So if you're smaller than that, you're going to size down. If you're bigger than that, you're going to size up. But that gives you a general idea of the sizing. I think this is probably a 3-season jacket, right? So in the middle of summer, in a hot area, this is going to be too warm. There's just not enough venting there. If you have a springtime that's fairly warm, okay, yeah, you can get away with it. There's a little bit of venting, and you could take the liner out, and you'll get away with it, I think. In a colder spring, this would be perfect. In the autumn, this is going to be perfect as well. In wintertime, depending where you live, this may be okay, or it may just be inadequate. There's just not going to be enough insulation under there. But it does give a fair amount of flexibility. I just don't think you're going to want to wear this in the middle of August or July in a hot area. I think it's going to be too warm. Now let me get down to what I think may be the most important part of this review, which is the price. Now you can see on this tag here, the retail price is $129 or $130, right? However, I just bought this jacket a week ago, and I paid $80 for it in a Cycle Gear store. And that's what I want to kind of point out here. For $80, this is not a bad deal. No, it's not going to have some of the high-end features that you'll find in more expensive jackets, but for $80, this would be great for a passenger who only rides occasionally, or perhaps someone riding a three-wheeler where the danger is not quite as great, or even a regular motorcycle rider who, you know, just wants a budget jacket, maybe for a trip or something like that, and they just don't want to spend a lot of money. This is not a bad deal. You can upgrade the protection, so you could add the back protector, maybe upgrade the armor if you wanted to. But even as is, I would say this is reasonably good protection for a motorcycle or a three-wheeler. So to bottom line this, I think the Bilt Tempest 2 ladies jacket is a reasonably good entry-level jacket. It may not have all the features of a higher-end jacket, but for a lot of people, it offers everything you need. And I would say if you can buy this for $80, it's a bargain.